ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। निरञ्जनं नित्यमनन्तरूपं भक्तानुकम्पाधृतविग्रहं वै ईशावतारं परमेशमीड्यं तं रामकृष्णं शिरसा नमामि। यथाग्नेर्दाहिका शक्ति रामकृष्णे स्थिता हिया सर्वविद्यास्वरूपान्तां शारदां प्रणमाम्यहम्। सत्यव्रतं सत्यपरं त्रिसत्यं सत्यस्य योनिं निहितं च सत्ये सत्यस्य सत्यं ऋतसत्यनेत्रं सत्यात्मकं त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नाः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यस्यात्मभूतस्य गुरोः प्रसादात् अहं विमुक्तोऽस्मि शरीरबन्धात्। सर्वोपदेष्टुः पुरुषोत्तमस्य तस्याङ्घ्रियुग्मं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। We are seeing life of great people who were committed to the value called truthfulness in their life, as explained in the scriptures. Their lives are scriptural evidences for the assertion of the Veda that Satyameva Jayate, Satyavan Eva Jayati. In this class, we will see the story of Bhishmacharya, one of the grandest person in our culture, who is famous for his commitment for truthfulness. He was the son of Shantanu Maharaja. Shantanu Maharaja married Ganga, and through Ganga he had 8 children. Every time the child is born, Ganga was throwing the child into the Ganga. Shantanu was not knowing the secret, who she is and why she is doing this way. When he went to Ganga Tir one day, he happened to see a beautiful girl and proposed for marriage. She asked a promise that whatever I will do, you will not object and you will not ask me who am I. Shantanu Maharaja agreed for it. They got married. When she got a child first time, everybody was happy. But that same night, she went to Ganga river and thrown that child. Shantanu Maharaja was with full of unhappiness, sorrow, but he did not have that guts to ask any question. Like that, 7 children were thrown away, and 8th child also was born. When she was about to throw away this 8th child, that time Shantanu Maharaja asked, "Who are you? Why you are behaving like a monstrous?" Then immediately Gangaji revealed her identity, that I am Ganga. All these children whom I have thrown in the river is none other than Ashtavashus. So it's all divine drama, and they misbehaved with Vasishta. One among the Ashtavasu stolen the Kamadhenu from Vasishta's ashrama, therefore they got, all of them got Shapa. So this 8th son is that Vasu who has stolen that cow. All others got shapa that they will be born in Bhuloka, but they need not live in Bhuloka. Therefore, I only gave birth to them and I only offered to my feet who happened to be having another form called river form. Mother also I am, river also I am. You don't worry, this 8th child will be given to you after educating that child. Like that she took the 8th child also. Then Shantanu Maharaja very much worried. Wife also gone, children also died, 8th son also gone. One day when he was walking on the Ganga river, he saw a small child, 10-year, 12-year-old child, was playing with Ganga with arrows, Ganga river. He put dam by arrows and Ganga also was simply obeying it. Then he wondered, can anybody put dam by arrows? Then he asked the child, who are you? The child was not replying. Then he prayed to Ganga. Then Gangaji comes and says, this is your child, born to both of us. So the child was named as Devavrata. And Shantanu was very happy. He brought that child to the kingdom, announced that child as a crowned prince. So this Devavrata was full of valor, full of knowledge and discipline and character. As even the child has grown and become an adult, they were searching for a girl. Then any astrologer came with a news that so and so girl is there, immediately Shantanu Maharaja will tell, I want to marry a girl. Then astrology stopped coming. What is this? We took Jataka for his son. This fellow wants to marry. Like that they stopped bringing the Jataka. Because he had that desire of remarrying. One day when he was walking on the Ganga, again he saw a beautiful girl who happened to be a fisherwoman. Her name was Satyavati. He expressed his desire. Raja wants to marry a fisherwoman. That girl told, whomever my father asked me to marry, that person only I will marry. You go and ask my father's permission. So when Shantanu Maharaja went to that village and asked, father did not agree. He told, no, already you have a son. And the son who is going to born for my daughter will be younger to him. So therefore, if you promise that the son who is going to be born for my daughter is going to rule the country, then only I will give you my daughter. Think big. That's what. Whatever may be your position, for thinking there is no money, expenditure, at least think big. When Shantanu heard this, it is not a possible proposition. So he came back. But he could not forget her. So he was worried. This Devavrata, the young prince, was observing his father. What happened? So anything happens in big people's life, however much it is secret, driver of the car will be knowing that. The car driver knows things, where this big man goes. So he called that driver and asked, what happened? Why my father is not happy? Then driver told everything. So Devavrata went to that village. And as even village people saw this young prince, they were happy. So they were telling, oh, Shantanu Maharaja might have come to ask our daughter to marry his son. Some people are talking. Others are talking. No. He openly expressed that he wanted to marry. Like that. Then they asked this Devavrata. Devavrata told, no. I came here in search of stepmother for me. Like that he told. Then the Satyavati's father told the same condition. The child who is going to be born for Satyavati and Shantanu has to rule the kingdom. Immediately Devavrata agreed for it. Then another old man was there. He raised another question. Okay, you may agree to renounce this kingdom, but you will marry and your son will be powerful son. Because you are a powerful person. Shantanu is a old man. A child born to old man will be less in power. So your son will come and compete and kill the son born to Satyavati. Therefore we are not going to give. As even Devavrata heard this, immediately told, Adhya prapriti me dasha brahmacharyam bhavishyati aputrasyapi me loka bhavishyanti akshaya divi. All right, I will not marry. What? You will not marry? Yes, I won't marry. If I marry, then only a child will born. In those days, children are born after marriage. In those days, generally. Exceptions were there, Karna and others. Generally, after marriage only child's birth happened. So I will not marry and I will not father any child. So how can we believe your words? When they asked, Devavrata says, Nahi janma prabhutyuktam mama kinjid iha anrutam yavat prana dhriyantevai mama deham samashitaha tavanna janayishyami pitre kanyam prayachame parityajam yaham rajyam maitunam chapi sarvashaha urdhvareta bhavishyami dashas satyam bravimite. Hey Dasha, I never uttered a lie in my life so far. Nahi janma pravruti yuktam mama kinjit anrutam iha. I never uttered a lie so far. I will not tell lie. Satyam bravimite. I am promising you. What is my promise? Yavat prana dhriyante vai mama deham samashitaha. As long as I will live, I will not marry anyone. All right, without marriage also you may father a child. No, that type of person I will not be. Tavanna janayishyami. I will not father a child legally or illegally. Then what you will do? Parityajamyaham rajyam maitunam chapi sarvashaha. From this moment onwards, I have given up my claim for the Rajya and I have given up my desire for sense pleasures. As even he did the Shapata, this promise, immediately all the Devatas showered the flowers, then they gave him a title, Bhishmaha, Bhishmaha. Because this is the toughest vow a person can take in life. A vow wherein he declares that I will not have wealth and I will not have a power position and I will not go for progeny. Because all the Devatas are slave for these things only. Kamini, Kanchan. As Sri Ramakrishna puts it, entire creation is slave for this Kamini, Kanchan. Here is a person who openly declares that he will not go for these two things, Artha and Kama. So they gave him title Bhishmaha. Bhishmaha means Mahavrataha, a person who has taken the greatest vow. So immediately they agreed for this and he requested that girl, addressing her as mother, please get inside the chariot I will take you to my father. So he took the girl and marriage ceremony over. Then as even the astrologers came to know that Shantanu got married, now road is clear. We can take the Jataka for Devavrata. Like that, when they brought the astrology, that what you call, when they brought the proposals for Devavrata, then Devavrata told, please go and ask my mother. So all the astrologers were wondering that mother was not giving any. Mother means who? That recently married girl, Satyavati. So she was not allowing anyone. Then complaint went to Shantanu Maharaja. Shantanu Maharaja asked, why you are behaving like this? He has given you life. He was the instrument in marrying me. So why you are obstructing the marriage of Devavrata? That time Satyavati says, our marriage stands on his words that he will not marry. That time only Shantanu Maharaja came to know the renunciation and the promise of Bhishmacharya. And he was very much depressed to hear this news. What? For my sake, my son has renounced everything, including his Rajya and his personal pleasure also he has left. Like that. He heard this. He could not digest this promise. He was persuading Bhishmacharya. Then Bhishmacharya says, see, our Vamsha is famous for Satya. Leave it. I will be living as your beloved child, serving you. Whoever sits in that throne, I will consider them as my father and I will serve you as long as I live. Like that he gave a promise. Then because of this promise only, he had to undergo a lot of troubles, because he never dreamt Dhritarashtra type of people will come and sit in that throne. So he had to go through a lot of humiliations for the sake of this promise. Then father gave him blessing. Since you were a man of renunciation, you will have Ichcha Mrityuhu. Whenever you want, that time only you will die. Whenever you want, that time only you will die. So it will be Ichcha Mrityu for you. Like that he blessed him. And again that blessing became curse for him. But father gave in good sense only. Then 2 children were born to Shantanu and Satyavati. Chitrangataha, Vichitraviryaha. Chitrangata fought with one Gandharva. The Gandharva's name also was Chitrangata. So Gandharva killed this Chitrangata. So Vichitravirya had to get married. Bhishmacharya goes in search of a girl for Vichitravirya. So you heard Kashi Raja had 3 daughters. And there is a ceremony. He goes there. In those days they call it Swayamvara. Girls had especially Kshatriya girls had the privilege of choosing their husband. So a lot of Rajakumaras will be sitting, and one person will come and tell the glory of the achievements of the Rajakumara. And if the girl likes that boy, she can put the garland on the neck. As even somebody gets the garland, all others Rajakumaras are there then. So they will fight with this Rajakumara, and this fellow unfortunately or fortunately has to fight with all other fellows and defeat them. Then only he can marry that girl. That was the Swayamvara. Very dangerous proposal. So Vichitravirya did not have the capacity to go for all this dangerous proposal. But Bhishmacharya, on behalf of Vichitravirya, he went there and he was sitting in the chair. Other Rajakumaras were there and they were wondering, hey, we heard this fellow gave a promise that he will not marry. Like that, now already he is 50-60 years old. Why he is sitting here in Swayamvara? He has come without knowing the proper address or what? Like that they were criticizing. Then Bhishmacharya gets up and declares his intention that I am here not to marry a girl, but to take a girl for my brother, younger brother Vichitravirya. Then when Bhishmacharya is in competition, who can win him? Very difficult. So all the three girls were asked to get inside the chariot. Amba, Ambika, Ambalika, someone. So all the three girls were taken to Hastinapura, and marriage ceremony was arranged for Vichitravirya. By the time one girl, Amba, told, see, I was loving Saubhadra Raja, who was having a flight. So she was telling, I loved a person who is the owner of flight. That means what? She loved person or flight? She loved the flight. When she expressed this one, immediately Bhishmacharya told, hey, you should have told there itself. I would not have brought you at all. All right, now at least you have told before marriage, I will send you back to your home. So, with all respect, he sent back. That girl went to the Saubhadra Raja, asked him to marry her, but that fellow told, you are already taken by someone, so I cannot marry you. Then again she came back to Bhishmacharya and told, he is not marrying, you ask your brother to marry me. Hey, what is this? This is possible nowadays. In those days it is not possible. Once you declare that I love someone, he will marry that person only. Then Vichitravirya was told to marry this girl also. Vichitravirya told, Anna, is it proper for you? Already she declared openly that he was loving someone, so how can I marry? Then Bhishmacharya told Amba, so he is not willing to marry you, so go back. All right, let him not marry, at least you marry me. Third proposal. Then Bhishmacharya told, if I have the proposal of marrying, then let us see, I will marry you, like that. So she got humiliated. She went to many rishis' ashrama and complained about Bhishmacharya, and everybody knew the character of Bhishmacharya. So nobody responded to her complaint. Because he never misbehaved with that girl. He declared openly that I am taking for my younger brother. That time itself she should have declared. Like Draupadi declared. When the competition was there, Karna was about to participate in that competition. If Karna participated, he would have won the competition before Arjuna. But as even Karna was about to participate, Draupadi declared, I will not marry a charioteer's son. Only Kshatriya's son I will marry. Like that she declared. Like that this Amba also could have declared. Out of fear of the society, she did not tell that time. Afterwards she is complaining. She got into this trouble. So everybody refused to help her. One person was willing to help her. Who was that person? Parashurama, who happened to be Bhagavan's avatara. What is the power of Parashurama? 27 generations of kings he has killed. That is the power. Nobody can stand in front of him. And that Parashurama happened to be teacher for Bhishma. Bhishmacharya learnt Shastra Vidya from Parashurama only. Now Parashurama got a chance. For what? To verify the commitment of his Shishya. What is the commitment the Shishya made? That I will be a renunciate. Even though I live in the society, I will not compete for sense pleasure and power, position, wealth. So he want to have a examination with his Shishya. So keeping this in mind, and he assured that Amba, okay, don't worry, he is my disciple only. I will ask him, I will order him to marry you, don't worry. Like that he assured her. So he sent a word, Bhishma came, and immediately Parashurama ordered, I order you, you marry. Then Bhishmacharya asked, Gurudev, do you know the background of the entire story? Yes, yes, I know that. Is it proper? Yes, yes, it is proper. How it is proper? Because I say it is proper. Then Bhishmacharya says, Na bhayad vasavasyapi dharmam jakhyam mahavrata prasidamava yadvate karyam tat kurumachiram. My dear teacher, you can have the status called teacher as long as you teach me satyam vada dharmam chara. As long as you guide me in the path of righteousness, in the path of truthfulness, that time only you are my teacher. Once you ask me to be an adharmavan, asatyavan, you lose the status called being my teacher. Therefore, I am not going to be afraid of. I am not going to obey your order as Shishya. Then immediately Parashurama says, hey, do you know with whom you are talking? With whom you are talking, you know. Like that he threatened. Then Bhishmacharya says, whoever you may be Bhagavan Narayana himself, you may be Avatara himself, you might have killed 27 generations of Kshatriyas, but still, na vasavasyapi, even if you are an Indra, I will never bother about the person who advocates adharma. I will not give up my dharma. Whether you are going to be a pleased person or you are going to be angry with me, I am not going to obey your words. Hey, I am your teacher. Then Bhishmacharya says, Gurorapi avaliptasya karya karyam ajanataha utpatha pratipannasya parityago vidhiyate. Shastra says, this is the shloka which was uttered by Lakshmana to Rama. When Rama was asked to go to forest by Dasharatha, out of anger, this Lakshmana says, what these elders? We should kill them, we should put into the jail. When they are going to cross the dharma, we should punish them like that. One shloka he utters. That shloka again Bhishmacharya brings here. Gurorapi avaliptasya karya karyam ajanataha. If an elder, if a teacher doesn't know what is right and what is wrong, and if he prescribes, advocates only adharma, then what you have to do? Utpatha pratipannasya. He is a bhrashtaha, dharmat bhrashtaha. That guru is a dharmat bhrashtaha. Parityago vidhiyate. Renounce the teacher. Renounce that guru. So these arguments are all not valid in present sense because nobody has guru also. And no guru has the guts to say this type of examination. No guru has the guts. Sattvam guririti premna maya sammanito bhrisham guru vrittim na janishe tasmat yotsyami vaitvaya gurum na hanyam samare brahmanam cha visheshataha visheshatas tapo vruddham evam kshantam maya tava. Guru vrittim na janishe. You don't know how to behave as the teacher. A teacher is a teacher only when he guides and when he practices dharma in his life. Swayam acharati paranapi acharayati iti acharyaha. One who follows that dharma and at the same time one who prescribes the same dharma to his disciple. That person is called acharyaha. Guruhu, you don't know what is the meaning of guru, like that he scolds Parashurama. Can anybody scold Parashurama? Seeing Parashurama, Dasharatha fainted. That type of Parashurama is getting scolding from Bhishmacharya. What is the power behind Bhishmacharya? The Satyameva Jayate. That promise of the Shastra is there, na? That is the power behind the Bhishmacharya. Inside, Parashurama might have been happy. Aha! My disciple is wonderful. Question number 1 is passed. He might have happy. Then, keeping his happiness inside, Parashurama asks, hey, with whom you are talking? Do you remember with whom you are talking? Then Bhishmacharya says, whoever you may be, you are boasting that you have killed 27 generations of kings. That time this Bhishma was not there. Therefore you could kill. He says, Yachapi kathase Rama bahushaha parishatsu vai nirjita kshatriya loke maya yekena iti tachrunu na tada jatavan bhishmaha kshatriyo vapi madvidaha paschat jatani te jamsi trineshu jvalitam tvaya Vyapaneshyami te dharpam yuddhe ramana samshayaha. You are boasting in all assemblies, you are boasting that you are the destroyer of 27 generations of Kshatriyas. But you have forgotten that time Bhishma was not born. What a guts, you see. That time Bhishma was not born. Not only that, Bhishma like person also was not there. All Rajas were like Napumsakas. So therefore you killed all these Napumsakas. All these Napumsaka Rajas you killed and you are boasting. Now you are going to see how I am going to destroy your dharpa, your arrogance. An opinion that I am a great person based on dharma is called self-respect. An opinion that I am a great person based on adharma is called arrogance. The very arrogance will make you to chew the mud. So like that he gave a challenge to Parashurama. Then all the devatas and others and Narada rishis are all very happy because one drama has, one cinema is shown here. Whenever like this happens, the Indras and others are all bored with same Ramba, Urvashi dance. So suddenly, aha, best serial has come. Like that, all of them came and stood there to see this war. Who is going to fight with whom? A Jivaha is going to fight with Bhagavan Vishnuhu Narayanaha. A Brahmachari is going to fight with the old Rishi. And a Kshatriyaha is going to fight with Brahmanaha. So it's a wonderful sight to see. By the time Gangaji was worried and she came and tried to persuade Bhishmacharya. Bhishmacharya told, Mother, you only taught me Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara. Keeping you as Sakshi, I have given the word that I will not marry in this lifetime. How can I give up my promise? Therefore, please don't disturb me. This Parashurama need not interfere in this affair at all. He is a rishi. He has given up all this, what he calls Kshatriya Vritti, interfering in others' life. Why he should interfere in others' life? People have a lot of complaints. They will come to you because you are a sadhaka, you are a sadhu. They will come to you to complain about their complaints. What should be the behavior of a sadhu? He should hear everything and finally he should say, apply to the Lord. That's what every sadhu should tell. If people come and complain about their family complaints, if a sannyasi goes to solve that complaint, will he be sannyasi? Will he be sannyasi? It is not the duty of a sadhu. So this Parashurama unnecessarily interfered in the life of Ambika. She went there just to complaining purpose. Like other sadhus, he should have told, all right, don't worry, this is your prarabdha, accept it, pray to the Lord, tell the Lord's name. Like that he should give mantra diksha. Instead of that, he is coming to me and asking me to give up my dharma. So if possible, you go and advise Parashurama. As even Parashurama's name heard, Gangaji disappeared. Who will advise Parashurama? Because Narayana. Then she understood it may be some Leela of Bhagavan. So they went to the Kurukshetra to fight. In those days there is a fighting place. Civilian area they will not disturb. Only military area they used to go and fight. Then as even both are standing alone in their chariot, Bhishmacharya, seeing his teacher, his guru standing there with all bow and arrow, he drops his bow and arrow. Immediately everybody wondered, what? This fellow talked so many things and now as even he saw with all weapon, he saw the Parashurama with all weapon, he got afraid or what? Now he is going to ask pardon or what? Like that everybody was wondering. Bhishmacharya goes to Parashurama and bows down to him. Yotse tvayarane Rama sadrushe nadhike nava guruna dharmashilena jayam ashasvame vibho. See the grandness of the person. He is fighting for dharma, correct? He is fighting for satyam, he is fighting for dharma. And a person who is fighting for dharma, in his mind there should not be any anger. Raga dvesha should not be there. It is a fight for the sake of principle. There is no personal enmity. Therefore, Bhishmacharya goes to Parashurama and says, "Oh my Gurudev, please bless me that I should win in this war. I may be equal to you, I may be lesser than you in fighting, but you bless me that I should win." What will do? What teacher will do? Now you tell. Then teacher says, "If you would not ask this blessing, I would have given shapa to you." Why? Because a person who is fighting for principle, in his mind there should not be any personal vengeance or anger or dvesha. Shapeyam tvam nache evam agaccheta vishampate yudhyasva tvam rane yatto dhairyam alambya kaurava. You fight, my dear disciple, you fight, let us see who is going to win. Like that, indirectly he gives blessings. Then fight happens. So many days fight was going on. Nobody is able to win each other. Because all the vidya which Parashurama was having, everything was taught to Bhishmacharya. And Bhishmacharya is naturally young also. So, Bhishmacharya is not at all tired. Parashurama is tired, old man. And Bhishmacharya was wondering when this drama is going to over. So one day he prayed to his Purvajas and he says, "If my Purvajas, that is forefathers, are pleased with my character, let them give a technique by which at least Parashurama will run away from the battlefield." Yes, how can anybody win Narayana? Then they gave a technique, one particular weapon which belonged to that Kula only. That mantra was given to him, and the next day war, final day war, when he was about to use that weapon, immediately all the Ashtavasus and other forefathers and rishis and Narada, everybody came there and told, stop. It is like a war between Hanuman and Rama. You know that story? Hanuman gave word to his mother to protect a king. And his mother gave word to that king. And that king did one apachara to Durvasa Rishi. Rama gave word to Durvasa Rishi to kill that king. Kashi Raja misbehaved with Durvasa Rishi. Durvasa Rishi went to complained to Rama. Rama gave the word, whoever he may be, I will kill him. And that Kashi Raja happened to be friend of Rama. Now Rama is in dilemma, how to kill the friend. Since I have given word, so I have to kill him. By the time this Kashi Raja went to Anjana Devi and surrendered, "Please protect me." And she gave Abhaya Pradhana. Without telling the background story, she asked protection from Hanuman. Hanumanji also, without knowing the background story, gave word, "All right, I will protect." And finally everybody came to know this is Hanuman has to fight with Rama. Rama also came to know that he has to fight with Hanuman. So Rama says, "Hey, what is this? We are not at all concerned with these two fellows, and they are putting us to fight. What is this like that? I don't know, my lord. It is your Leela, I don't know. So now you give that Raja to me. I have to I have to put the Raja's head at the feet of the Durvasa Rishi like that. No, how can I do that? I have given you word. So you are Satyasandaha. So how can your disciple be a untruthful one like that? So then you have to fight it. All right, no problem, oh my lord. If possible, you kill me. So Ramji sent one arrow. As even arrow comes, Hanumanji stands with a folded hands and says, Jai Sitaram. Then the arrow goes back and hits Rama. Jai Sitaram hits Rama. Then next day, Rama gets pain. Hey, what is this fellow? No astra works. So he had to fight. At the same time, he was not willing to fight. Like that, similarly, our Bhishma Acharya also had to fight, and at the same time, he was not willing to fight. So when everybody came and told, oh, don't use this particular astra, and you will be a person who will be cursed by the entire teacher community, that a student who went against the teacher, whatever may be the reason, find out some means. So go back. Then Bhishma Acharya said, I cannot go back from the battlefield, I am Kshatriya. Then they went to Parashurama and asked him to at least withdraw. He told, what? Withdrawing? 27 generation. Like that, again, he will tell 27 generation. Boasting. Then they could not talk to him, so they came back to Bhishma. Hey, you are a small boy. If you are not able to go back, at least stand aside. Like that, somehow they managed to stop this war. This is the first test. First test for Bhishma Acharya's Satya. Then what happened? Amba was not succeeded in her attempt. So she went and took revenge, and those stories you know. Then this Vichitra Virya passed away without having any child. Now Satyavati calls Bhishma Acharya and says, you see, the children born to me, both of them have died, and there is no issues at all, and nobody is there to rule this kingdom. Therefore I ask you to be a Raja and marry. Then our Bhishma Acharya says, Parityajeyam Trailokyam Rajyam Deveshu Va Punaha Yadvapyadhikame Tabhyam Natu Satyam Kathanjana. Mother, your status being mother depends upon my promise given to you. Did you forget? Your status being my mother depends upon very locus standi is my promise. Therefore, Parityajeyam Trailokyam Rajyam. What this ordinary kingdom? All the three worlds, if they give me at free of cost, that I will renounce. Natu Satyam Kathanchana. Tejecha Pruthivi Gandham Apascha Rasamatmanaha Jyotis Tatha Tejet Rupam Vayuhu Sparsha Gunam Tejet Prabham Sutsrujet Arkaha Dhumaketus Tatoshmatam Teje Shabdham Tata Kasham Somaha Shitam Shutam Tejet Vikramam Vrutraha Jakhyat Dharmam Jakhyat Dharmarat Natu Aham Satyamutrashtum Vyavaseyam Kathanchana. See the commitment, conviction. He says, let all Panchabhutas give up their nature. It is impossible thing. Let the sun give up its heat. Let the water give up its nature called rasatva. Let the vayu sparsha gunam tejet. Air is the cause for sparshatva, that is what you call touching. So let the Panchabhutas give up their nature, but I will not give up my truthfulness. Let the Indra Vrutraha Vikramam Jakhyat. Let the Indra become a Napumsaka. Let the Dharmarat, that is Yamadharma Raja, become Adharma Rajaha. But this Bhishma will never become Asatya Sandaha. Therefore, mother, don't persuade. Find out some other means for progeny. So what to do? Satyavati had another child. Before marrying Shantanu, Satyavati got a child. The child's name was Vyasacharya. Satyavati, when she was a small girl, by Rishi, Parashara Rishi, she had a child without marrying, without going through pregnancy, she had. That child was called, that Vyasacharya was called, and Satyavati requested, like this happened, and you know the story, balanced story. Dhritarashtra, Pandu and Vidura, all of them were born. Like that story continues. So we will concentrate with the commitment. First test was from Bhagavan himself, Narayana, Parashurama himself. So he has passed. Second test was from mother. Third test again from Bhagavan in another avatara. In Parashurama avatara he failed. Now as Krishna, same Bhagavan comes and tries to make him Asatyavan. Parashurama avatara tried with young Bhishmacharya. Now Krishna avatara is trying with old Bhishmacharya. In Mahabharata war, 9th day night, Duryodhana was shouting at Bhishmacharya. This Bhishmacharya is playing same side goal. He is not killing these Pandavas and he is not helping us to kill Pandavas. As though he is our captain, he is fighting, but actually he is favoring them. Like that he was scolding. Hearing their scolding, Bhishmacharya takes a shapata that tomorrow, if my fighting was not stopped, I will arrest Yudhishthira. Like that he took a promise. Then everybody was happy, because once Bhishma says, it is done. It is done. So everybody were happy. That news went to Draupadi. Like this Bhishmacharya has taken a vow. Then immediately Draupadi cried. By the time Krishna entered, and why Draupadi you are crying? No, like this Bhishma has taken vow to arrest our Yudhishthira. Oh, is it so? Like that he also started crying. Then Draupadi asked, I am crying, I thought you will help me, you are also crying along with me. What is this nonsense? Stop crying, tell something. Then Bhagavan says, see, I can protect you from anyone except from a Satyasandha. If a Satyasandha says, I have to keep his words, I have to protect his words. And Bhishmacharya's words never went wrong. You don't know my previous experience in Parashurama Avatara. I myself went and cut my nose and came out. So it is impossible, like that you are telling. Then finally, somehow he says, all right, I will take to you another Mahatma and get you Dirgha Sumangala Bhava Ashirvada. So he took Draupadi and he showed a tent. Inside go, one Mahatma is sitting. Gets Dirgha Sumangala Bhava Ashirvada. One side, I will make you widow. One Shapata. Bhishmacharya, what he says, that I will arrest Yudhishthira, means Yudhishthira will be killed as a, what you call, war criminal. Then you will be widow. That is the idea. Now this side, you get one blessing from another Mahatma. Then both Mahatmas will fight. Then we can see. Like that was the idea. So he went to, he asked Draupadi to go inside, and when she went, this Mahatma was not doing japa. He was sharpening his knife. Then Draupadi says, is it Mahatma? People, sadhus will be there in different forms. Don't be carried away by their external forms. Get his blessing, like that. He gave a signal, and Draupadi bowed down, hearing the, what you call that, bangle sound. That Mahatma gave a Ashirvada, Dirgha Sumangala Bhava, without seeing her, who is she? Dirgha Sumangala Bhava. Second time bowing, Dirgha Sumangala Bhava. Third time bowing, Dirgha Sumangala Bhava. Then again and again she was bowing. Then this Mahatma asked, hey, who are you? Why you are bowing down again and again? Then without showing her face, she asked, is your Ashirvada is valid? Will it be truthful? Like that she asked. Then this Mahatma told, what? Bhishma Vakya will go as a lie? Like that he shouted. Then only Draupadi came to know it is Bhishma. So Bhishma gave one word to Duryodhana that I will arrest Yudhishthira. Now same Bhishma has given Dirgha Sumangala Bhava. Which promise he has to keep? Then immediately Bhishma asked, who brought you here? Like that. By the time when he came out to see who has brought Draupadi, then he saw that peacock feather at the top of the head. Then he understood and he just pulled Krishna. Krishna was sitting like this outside the house. When he pulled the cloth of the Krishna, chappal has come from his body. What nonsense, you are keeping chappal. Whose chappal it is? Like that. Then Krishna says, while bringing Draupadi, there are a lot of arrows are piercing her leg. That time I managed to find a chappal for her. Now raining is going on. So if this chappal is wet, who will go and bring another chappal? Therefore only I am keeping the chappal. See the Bhagavan's love for devotee's wife. When his wife travelled 14 years as Sita, he never bothered to give her a chappal. Now, devotee's wife, not even 14 hours, 14 minutes maybe. So that also he could not withstand. Like that, Bhishmacharya was very much wondered about the compassion of the Lord. At the same time, he was angry also. You are making me to tell a lie. Which promise I am going to keep? Then Krishna told, it is your problem, Tata, your grandfather, it is your problem. I never asked you to give all these promises, so it's all up to you. No, I will keep up my promise, first promise only, because it was given with buddhi purva, with all willingness it was given, and I have not seen her at all, her face at all. If I would have known that she is Draupadi, I would not have given this Ashirvada, this promise, so I will not keep up this promise. Like that he told. And Bhagavan told, it's all up to you, which promise. Anyhow you are going to be a liar. If you keep up that promise, you are going to be a liar with regard to this promise. Then Bhishmacharya got angry. Whole life I was committed for truthfulness. Hey Bhagavan, you are trying to make me a liar. All right, I will take one more shapata to you. What is the shapata? I will make you a liar. Because Bhagavan has given a promise that in Mahabharata war I will not take any weapon. So I will make you to take weapon and fight with me. By that I will make you liar. And Bhagavan heard this. Hey, what is this? How many lies I told? I myself cannot count. That's all keeping the butter in my mouth. When my mother asked, did you eat butter? I told openly, I did not eat at all. What is butter? I asked. So that type of person, so many thousands and lakhs of lies already gone. What is there? One more lie? No problem. Like that he went out. Then what happened next day? War. Bhishma was fighting like anything. And Arjuna was terrified to see this old man fighting. Then he asked, what happened? Krishna, what is the secret of the enthusiasm, newly found enthusiasm? What Chavanaprash he has eaten yesterday night? What is this? Then Krishna told, you fight, don't talk. No, I am not able to fight. All right, I will go and fight. Like that, he went from the Ratha, gave up his Uttariya, Swanigamam apahayamat pratiknyam. Like that one shloka comes. O Lord, in order to keep up my promise that I will see you as a Shastradhari, you have given up your promise. You have protected my promise. Like that, he praises the Lord. Now time is over. That story we will see in the next class. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranadakleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Satyavratam Satyaparam Trisatyam Satyasya Yonim Nihitancha Satye सत्यस्य सत्यं ऋतसत्यनेत्रं सत्यात्मकं त्वां शरणं प्रपन्नाः।